Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I finally finished my last exam. Woo! That was me being excited. But that just means that I'll be, you know, back into business with this whole booktube thing, and that there'll be more videos coming out probably frequently. Other than that though, we should head right into today's video, and as you can see from my setup, today's video is going to be a review slash discussion of the final book in the Mortal Instruments series, which is The City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, and this book is a monster. Look at the size of it, and I think this is the first time on my channel that I'm doing a review slash discussion. For the first couple of minutes I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review, and then I'm going to be heading into it and talking a bit more about it because there is a lot to discuss, like a lot. It's insane how much this book had in it. So basically, you know, it's the final book, it's come to the last battle. I don't know how much I can say from the synopsis, because if you haven't read the series yet, I do suggest that maybe you shouldn't watch this video, just in case I do spoil something out of the series. But, you know, it's just the Shadowhunter world, and they're out there to catch demons and kill demons and stuff, but there's also this other evil force, and for the first time it is Shadowhunters against Shadowhunters. To be quite honest, I probably didn't remember much from the last two or the previous two books from this one, so that was City of Fallen Angel and Cities of Lost Souls, probably because I lost a lot of interest in this series. I felt like Cassandra Clare dragged it out a bit too much. Like, up to City of Glass, it was, or City of Glass was perfect, and then City of Fallen Angels was just like, oh, okay, you know, it was intense, and City of Lost Souls I felt like was unnecessary, but this one definitely picked up the series for me. It made me fall back into the series, and I think it's brought the series back to my good side. I will thank this book forever for that. There is a lot that goes on in here. I think what I like most about the last book was how far the characters had come, and how much the world had changed, but in a good way sort of thing. You know, and there was all these joining forces, all these alliances that you don't really expect, but it happens. And I was really proud of the characters' maturity and how they learnt to deal with all their flaws, and, you know, sort of accept themselves for who they are and not learn how to run away from problems. And I think that's one of the biggest strong points out of this book. Cassandra Clare's writing has always been spot on, has always been very solid. The problem I had with the series in general was that there was a lot of minor characters that I didn't really care about, but that had a lot of time spent on them, and you know, like Jordan and Maya, who were the werewolves, and as much as their relationship was cute, at the same time I was just like, you know, it wasn't really necessary. But I think it is cut back a lot in this one. It's a lot more to do with the Shadowhunter world in general now, and that was the main point of the entire series, you know, good versus evil sort of thing, and how to protect the Shadowhunter world. The series as a whole sort of swerved from that focus in the 4th and 5th book. It was a lot more to do with Jace and Clary and their relationship, but it came back to the main focal point of this entire series in this book, and that's probably why I think this book has sort of helped me learn to love the Mortal Instruments series again. One thing I have to say about this reading the last book though is that before you read it, I recommend that you really do read the Infernal Devices series, which is the companion series to this world by Cassandra Clare. The first book is Clockwork Angel, and then Clockwork Prince, which is the second one, and then Clockwork Princess, which is the third one, because there is a lot that is tied into City of Heavenly Fire, that is from this series. You get to know a lot more about the characters that are in this series, and it's set, this series is actually set in way back from when City of Heavenly Fire is set, so if you read that, you might get spoiled for this series. So I really do recommend that you read this first, because it makes your reading experience for City of Heavenly Fire a lot more enjoyable. I was like, oh my god, did that really happen because of that and stuff. Like, there's all these revelations, and it's just mind-blowing. In general, I think I would recommend that you guys read the series if you haven't started it yet, because it really does really well in the first 3 books. it sort of lulls in the 4th and 5th, but it really picked it up in the 6th one. I loved all the characters in the book. I don't think there was any characters I didn't end up liking. Clarys, for me, Clarys has always been on the iffy side, but I absolutely love Jace, and I really did begin to feel for Alec, as much as I really found him annoying in the beginning of the series. I never did really like Simon, but I thought he was one of the most important characters of this series as a whole, and Isabel is just a total badass. Magnus is a gem. I'm just going on and on and on, but I just think the series was actually worth the read in the end. Thank gosh. I didn't have that much, I didn't have really high expectations for the last book, so I guess that's why I wasn't severely disappointed in any way. I don't think I was disappointed actually. I got quite emotional at the end, and I was nearly gonna be in tears, which does say a lot because I don't really ever cry that much when I read. So yeah, if you haven't read it yet, or if you aren't sure if you want to continue on with the series, definitely continue on because the last book is worth it. I really liked it. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. But that's it for my non-spoiler. If you have read the book, stick around because there are a couple of things I want to talk about. Otherwise, go and read it. Definitely go and read it. If you haven't read the Inferno Devices series, read that first. It was very easy to read. I have a series review for that as well down below, and I'll link it down below. There we go. Other than that, I shall see you guys soon. I hope you guys have a great day. Okay, I'm assuming that if you're staying, you have read this beautiful thing because it was definitely a ride. First off, I just want to admit that I didn't even know what the Heavenly Fire was because I actually didn't remember anything from the City of Lost Souls. I was so completely confused as to why Jace had this fire burning in him, but I sort of picked it up along the way when they were saying how Clarys put it in him for some reason. I don't know, don't kill me. It was a while, like I said, I abandoned the series for a while. I didn't really fell in love with it or anything, but as I was reading this, the prologue for me sounded really I didn't understand what was going on in the prologue, and then Sebastian made his appearance and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And it started to pick up from there, right from there, and then you sort of go back into Jace and Clarys' world, and you learn, you know, all the absences, all the stuff that we sort of missed out during City of Lost Souls and City of Heavenly Fire. And when Jace is meditating with Jordan, that was really funny. There's so much romantic angst in this between all the pairings. So there's Simon and Isabel, and then Alec and Magnus, and Jace and Clarys. And Jace and Clarys more of sexual frustration, which I guess is sort of relatable because they're in this relationship, but at the same time I was just like, oh, is that really all you have to think about? I mean, you're gonna save the world. Alec and Magnus was sort of a really sad relationship, but I felt that it worked really well at the end. I loved the ending and how they realised that as much as, you know, things have changed or that it might not work out, they still have to give it a try because it's just what they want. And if you don't give it a try, then you're never gonna know. Isabel and Simon's relationship was not something I expected to happen during the entire series, but once it did, I felt it was right. And then the ending made me, oh my god, the moment when Simon had to volunteer to sacrifice himself, I was like, are you joking me? Magnus could have given up his what's it called, his immortality, and it would have been fine. Oh, actually no, he would have died, but Simon had to give up his memory, and I felt so bad for Clarys. But I also felt even worse for Isabel because she just found this one person that she knew she could love. She knew she could open up to, even if it was a bit hard, and she had to have it taken away from her, and it was just the saddest moment ever. I couldn't deal. Oh my god, and that was the moment I think I nearly cried, especially when they came back and they tried to find Simon and it just didn't work out. I felt like the way that Cassandra Clare tried to resolve it with asking him to become a Shadowhunter was sort of abrupt, and I didn't really see that happening. And I'm not sure if I support that decision because Simon is a vampire. I just can always see him as a vampire, even if he hated it. I don't know if he could ever be the best shadow hunter, but, you know, it could happen. It could happen. You never know. Shocking moments for me were probably Sebastian and the Fairy Queen, because what is going on there? I didn't know what she wanted, and then when she was in bed and she turned around and he was there, I was like, are you joking me? Ah, gosh. And then when Jordan died, I was like, you just had to kill off Jordan, but it was done in a really anticlimactic way, or maybe it was just me and I was reading it and I was like, oh look, they're all dead, and then bang, Jordan's dead. Like, what? And I didn't understand Maya's sort of relationship, or what she served as a purpose in the book. You know, when she said she was going to break up with him and then he died and she felt guilty about it, and then Bat came and she sort of felt this attraction with him because it was her ex-boyfriend. I was like, not sure what's going on there, might have to overlook that. Out of all the characters, I think Sebastian's character probably had the most depth, in that he was a very conflicting character. You know, you could see that he was evil to the core, but he still had his human emotions in him, and it was hard for him to understand what love was, even though he wanted it, and it was hard for him to understand why he needed it and why he needed to be accepted, because his dad had always overlooked him and he felt like he needed to act in the way that his dad wanted him to act like, not how his mum wanted him. And I felt that Jocelyn was pretty harsh on him at some points, even if she hated the fact that she had given birth to something so demonic. But at the same time, you're his mum, like, you know, it's hard. And just like the moment when the heavenly fire, the moment when Clarys stabbed him with the heavenly fire sword, and he lost all of that evil nature in him, you could see that underneath it all, he was this boy that just wanted to be loved. Yeah, so I had a phone call and I don't know what I'm up to. The camera angle's probably changed again. But, yeah, and my dad just came in as well. It's so distracting. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Yeah, Sebastian. And I just think in the end he probably was the character with the most sort of flaws, the most relatable, even if he was evil. Oh, now I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, and that he had the most scars, and I sort of I felt bad for him. I felt really sorry that he had to live this sort of lonely life, even though he sort of paved his own way towards his destruction. I really didn't understand his motivation in the fact that he wanted to rule over this desolated world with his sister by his side, and that the way he treated his sister was really incestuous, and I was just like, I don't feel really comfortable with this, you know, what's going on? Like, the moment when he was like to her, kiss me, like, love me or something, and I was like, are you joking me? Like, what the hell? Another memorable moment is when Alec and Isabel, Simon, Jason, Claire are in the demon world, and the demon feeds them these dreams that they think they really want, but they actually don't. And I found Clarys' dream to be fascinating because she just wanted a perfect family with Sebastian, or Jonathan, her brother. Sebastian comes out and he's this loving brother that you see, and it's the brother that she witnesses towards the end when as Jonathan gets stabbed, or Sebastian gets stabbed, he turns into Jonathan without the evilness. And I just thought it was really sad, you know. And then Jace doesn't tell them what he has, but you know, eventually he tells Clary that he dreamt that he was with Sebastian and he loved the fact that he was ruling with Sebastian over this desolated world. But Clary tells him that, you know, it's something that the demon wants you to think that you want, but it's actually wrong, and you feel that it's wrong and it's not true. And I think that Clary and Jace's relationship works really well in this book as opposed to the other ones, is that because they understand each other so well, and that they, you know, can help each other sort of out of these things. And I liked the aspects of Jace and Clary's relationship because it wasn't the main focal point of the story, which was a really big factor in City of Lost Souls. I loved the tie-ins from the other series that she's written, so the Infernal Devices series, and then you've got Jem and Tessa who come at the end, and I was just like, oh my god, squealing because I was like, yay, you've come! And then you've got the Dark Artificer series that she's about to write, and then you have the two main characters, Emma and Julian, who are best friends, and Emma is actually a descendant from Jem, because they've got the same sort of surname, and then Jim ends up helping Jace because he says that he owes Will Herondale a lot, or he owns that Herondale's a lot of stuff, but obviously we all know it's about Will. And, you know, it makes me excited that I might want to read The Dark Artifices because Jim and Tessa are heading over to LA, and that's where Emma and Julian are going to be. And I just love that she fuses all this stuff together because it's so creative, and it really adds to the books or my reading experience, because I'd read the series and I was like, oh my god, I know what's exactly going on, and how how brother Zachariah, you know, gained his humanity back. That was some really epic stuff. I didn't see that coming, but whoa. I just think the ending was really sweet, and I think the ending was perfect. There was so many things I loved about this book. You know, leave a comment down below telling me what you thought about this book. Probably not spoilers though, because a lot of people might have not read it yet. I don't know what else I want to say about this because there was so much that went on. And then Raphael dying! Oh my god, I didn't want that to happen. I can't believe he sacrificed himself for Magnus. Like, seriously, what the hell? See, I like Jonathan, but I don't like Sebastian. I think that's probably it. I just think it was amazing, and I definitely recommend you guys. I just thought it was great. It was great. And I nearly like cried during moments, and it was just perfect. Other than that though, I really hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon with another video. Goodbye!